Welcome back for another video. It's been just over a week since my last team video and I've made a huge number of changes to my team, plus a change of chip strategy. My intention is to use the bench boost in Gameweek 2 now. Now there's one major sticking point with delaying the bench boost, so rather than using it in one of the first two game weeks, you wait until after your first wildcard, and that is the fact that you're probably going to have to spend a minimum of 4.5 mil on your second keeper, so same as right now. And we so rarely make goalkeeper transfers, let alone on a backup keeper. So I've just seen a world where you have to spend that extra 0.5 mil on that second keeper, and that money is sat on your bench all the way from your first wildcard until your second. And 0.5 mil is actually a lot in FPL, especially when you're potentially talking 20 to 30 game weeks. And 0.5 mil could be a tipping point some weeks, and that gives you an edge over others that are using it later. I want a second 4 mil keeper, whether they play for their club or not. The downside to bench boost 1 or 2 is obviously you've got to make some sacrifices from the start of the season to spread money around. Instead of a 4.5 mil third forward and a 4 mil bench keeper, you're going to have at least a 5.5 mil or 6 mil third forward. And again, you're going to have to spend 0.5 mil on that second goalie. So that's like 1.5 mil to 2 mil extra needed from somewhere else in your team. Fantasy Football Scout are doing 7 months free on the annual plan. It's a few quid a month and you get tons of FPL tools to make you a better FPL manager. So if you want to play around with all the countless FPL tools in their offering, use the link below to claim the 7 months free or the QR code on screen. It supports the channel as well. So let's get into the team. In goal, the first change since the last draft. I had Raya and I've dropped Raya down to Kinski, so that's 1.5 mil freed up. I'm expecting to see a completely different Spurs side to what we saw last season before De Zerbi came in. Even then, he had a huge impact after arriving. After joining Spurs, he turned them around defensively and they became the best team in the league for expected goals conceded, first in the league. They won't be number one over the next 38 game weeks obviously, but he should provide good value, Kinski, for 4.5 mil, and he's having a strong pre-season as well, if that's any indicator. In defence, it's Mosquera, Shaw and Maguire. Now, obviously, I'm hoping that Man United don't sign a new left-back, and instead, maybe they'll see this season as, give Shaw another year as the first choice and maybe grow academy product en masse in, but we'll see. Like Hull has been rumoured as someone they're considering. Man United have got the best 2 opening games, so Shaw would be really good for Bench Boost 2. One of the things I like about Bench Boost 2 much more over Bench Boost 1 is, number one, you can see how the first week of FPL went, just in case your read was wrong on any players. Like maybe Carrick surprises us and maybe Amas gets a start in left back or Yoro gets a start over Maguire. Obviously it is unlikely, but just to give you an example of something that could happen to any of the 15 players you start with, in which case then you bail on your plan for the bench boost 2. The other more significant reason is it's home fixtures for the Game Week 2 bench boost, whereas Game Week 1 has got a lot of away fixtures in my starting team. Like tons of my players are away, but in Game Week 2 you've got fixtures like Coventry home to Hull, Man United have got Ipswich home, Bournemouth have got Everton home, whatever it is you're targeting for your bench. The midfield 5 is Anderson, Bruno, Semenyo, Szoboszlai and Sangare. Let's talk about the Sangare first. I'm really excited by this FPL pick. It's an unbelievable signing that Brentford have pulled off. I've got a graphic here which is from Alex Volo to put in perspective just how good his defensive numbers are. You can see he actually achieved slightly more defcons per 90 than Anderson last season and a slightly better XGI per 90 as well, and obviously Anderson was the best defcon guy in the league last season. The big question when a player moves from another league is, can they achieve those numbers in the Premier League, the most competitive league in the world? He's coming from Lens in Ligue 1. I do genuinely think he'll be able to adapt and continue delivering top defcon numbers. Last season he had a 65% hit rate plus 7 goal involvements, only 5 yellows all season as well. I like Ampadu, who's the same price, but his defcon numbers weren't as good, and you can see he got about 12 defcons per 90 last season, but he did also get twice as many yellows with 10. So will he be this year's Anderson? For 5.5 mil as it stands, I'm happy to find out, and he's in the team. Gross is a really good 5.5 mil option as well, I'm also considering. Even if he were to put like a 10 to 20% deduction on his defcon rates, he'd still be incredible value for 5.5 mil Sangare. So yeah, he's in the team for now. If we dig even deeper into defcon, because it's a vital part of the game now, I've got my table here from Scout. So you've got defcons per start, you've got average defcon points earned per start, total earned, you've got hit rate per appearance and per start. If you go to public data tables in the Scout members area and search my name, you'll find all 11 of my tables I use in content, so feel free to steal them, have a look at the data more. There's a link below to join with a discount. Anderson's numbers were so insanely good, and I actually think they'll continue to be good at Man City, so I'm happy to keep him for 6.5 mil. And Semenyo, in my eyes, is going to be a key player in Maresca's system. He can play both wings exceptionally. He's one of the few players that I'm doing my absolute best not to compromise on. Are there any players in your team that you feel like you just won't be taken out between now and Gameweek 1? Like, obviously, it's Bournemouth home Gameweek 1. There's Palace away in Gameweek 2, which could be really good as well. Lequaire's gone. Wharton's a question mark right now with an injury. Glasner's gone. They've got Coventry home in Gameweek 3. Then it's the Manchester derby, which is often a goal fest. Then it's Sunderland home. It's just such a good opening 5, and he's the most secure Man City attacker after Haaland. One thing I'm going to have to keep in mind of Anderson and Sangare are only DEFCON picks this season. And I think this is a good tip in general, is to stay patient with them. Like Anderson last season, he very rarely had a big game. Like his first double-digit return, actually ironically came against Man City, but maybe that was the game that sealed it for the Man City board to say, like, we need to sign this guy at any price. But anyway, my point is that was like Game Week 29 or something before he first hit a double-digit return. So my point is that he just ticked along with some very like unglamorous returns, you know, lots of 4s and 5s. But by the time you get to Game Week 38, boom, 180 points, which is huge for 5.5 mil, and obviously this season 6.5. Bruno's another player I'm not going to compromise on, and Szoboszlai's feeling fairly locked as well, but maybe I could sacrifice Zobo if an interesting combination pops up. I do really like Wirtz as well, but he's just an extra 0.5 mil. He did score the other day in pre-season, and Iriola says he wants him playing as a 10, not on the left wing, so just behind Isak. And then up front it's João Pedro and Haaland, so nothing to write home about, and admittedly very template, and I think they're template for a reason. No, Haaland does have some genuine legs though, I have to say. I did a video about this if you've not seen it, called Could This Team Win FPL? And I'm really interested to see how many go for it come Game Week 1. We'll have to see what his Community Shield involvement looks like as well, since he's not on the pre-season tour and joining up late following the World Cup. Well, that would be a spanner in the works if he's benched for that game or not in the squad, as Man City give him that extended rest. I think he'll definitely be involved though. That's on Sunday 16th of August. So let's talk about the bench and the bench boost. The bench is Leno, Wright, Thomas and Van der Wijk. So I've got two things to say about this. Number one, let me say first of all, the bench boost is a bit of an overrated chip, especially when it's a single game week bench. Like, I would be happy with a 12-point bench. The other obvious thing to underline is the fact that this is a big bet on commentary here. They are facing Hull home, which does help make bench boost 2 so appealing. You can own 2 base price players for 4 mil that play them home. A clean sheet in that fixture would make the bench boost a major success in my eyes. In the Championship last season, home and away, both games ended 0-0 interestingly. I'm finding it almost impossible to find anywhere that I'm comfortable taking money out of the starting 11 to improve the bench. If you've got any suggestions, they are welcomed. I could drop Maguire down to a 4.5 mil defender, but then which one has a good Game Week 2 fixture? And that 0.5 mil would let me upgrade Van der Wijk to a 4.5 mil defender as well, and I'd have 2 4.5 mils instead of a 5 mil and a 4 mil. I spent a ton of time on it and I just couldn't find a combination of 4.5s that I liked, so it is a big bet on Coventry doing well in Game Week 2. As it stands, it seems like Wright has got a good chance of leading the line for Coventry. Sims can start as well. They could even start both together, like one of them on the wing and then Mason Clark on the other potentially. Like Wright, he really can run hot and cold. On his day, he can be unplayable, but he can be a frustrating player as well. I just need him to run hot in Game Week 2 and that's it. I'm not expecting him to be a good season-long pick, and we'll basically never use him outside of that second game week. If there's any Coventry fans watching, do let us know what you think in the comments. 54 goal involvements in 111 games in the Championship. Last season, 17 goals, 1 assist. Not bad. One other option is Sangare to Rigoni from Coventry. He's a 5 mil highly rated midfielder. He did have shoulder surgery at the end of the season though, so he could be bedded back into full games slowly, and therefore I'm not willing to risk him right now. There's Sakamoto for 5 mil as well. I mean, Wright is prolific from the penalty spot as well, I have to mention that. He will be on pen duties for them. He's buried 17 and missed 2 in his career. I just think he has a good chance of starting this season up top for them, but definitely keeping an eye on the transfer market as well. They're being linked to Sheriff. He's only just joined up for pre-season, having been with the USA at the World Cup, so that's why he's only been involved in one game for them so far. But yeah, if there's like a 5 mil mid that emerges, Sangare down to the 5 mil means right to any of the 6 mil forwards like Calvert-Lewin or Igor Jesus. It's close, that could be better, might not be. So just on Leno, I'm a little bit unsure about the Fulham defence and what to make of them. Marco Silva's a great manager and he's gone. But Leno is pretty handy for a Gameweek 2 bench boost against Sunderland. There is Petrovic, who's got Everton home, slightly better clean sheet odds, but just doesn't rotate well at all long term. I was playing around with the ticker and I noticed there's a really good rotation here if I do end up making it far before I need to wildcard. So if we set it to the first 8 game weeks rather than 5, and we'll remove all the teams with 5 mil or more goalkeepers since we need it to be super cheap. So that leaves us with Coventry, Fulham, Spurs, Brighton, Hull and Ipswich. So tap Spurs and hit sort by rotation. We've got Coventry best and then we've got Fulham. We're already on triple Coventry, so that means I'll rule them out, which means Fulham is the best possible option for me. You get a fixture rotation of Brentford away, Sunderland away, Palace home, Everton home, Aston Villa home, Ipswich away, Hull home and Coventry away. QR code on screen to get premium on the Focal app, only 92p per week, or even cheaper for the season plan. Tons of useful tools like this to make decisions much easier. Now lastly, Bench Boost 1 does have potential as well. You've got Ipswich home to Sunderland, so O'Shea for example is 4 mil, or you go Leif Davies. It's just not as good as Hull home though for me. And this is an example of how I'd line up if I was going for a Gameweek 1 bench boost. So the changes would basically be Verbruggen comes in, O'Shea comes in, Kadioglu, Hume, Gross and Dye and Igor Jesus. So the players going out would be Leno, Van der Wijk, Maguire, Sangare, Anderson and Wright. Both have got potential, don't get me wrong. I just like Bench Boost 2 slightly more. I've actually included the Forgotten Man and Dye there as well. Nothing's been agreed between any clubs, and interestingly, Everton posted a photo of him linking up with teammates for pre-season, and Garner Gay commented on it, and he said, "Here to stay," with a blue heart. It might mean nothing, but given there were some rumours swirling of interest from elsewhere, I think that's quite a telling comment from his teammate of several years. So yeah, if you'd written and Die Off, he just might be a great pick as well for 6 mil. Where are you guys at with your teams? Bench Boost 1, Bench Boost 2, or using it later? Hit subscribe and use the link below for pre-season discount on the Focal app Premium. See you soon for the next one.